Hello and welcome to another video to Union Arena. I was gone for like 3 months and I didn't upload any videos because I was kind of busy with some other stuff in my real life. But I'm back now and we are playing the new set, the Attack on Titan set, which just released in the English version of Union Arena. And as you can see, we're gonna take a look at the blue decks here. First off, we have the Blue Levi deck, or Levi, and his whole gimmick is that in the battle phase, you may pay action points to get like some additional abilities. This main character here, the main raid character of Levi, just allows him to switch his character back to active when you attack with him, which is pretty nice. On the other side, we have Historia Reiss, or Reiss in English. I'm not sure how to pronounce her. And her whole gimmick is just getting a lot of event cards into your trash, so she gains a lot of different abilities. I'm a little bit rusty with the commentating, but I think after a few videos it should be fine. And I still need to get used to the rules, because in my time off I played like a lot of Magic. So I would say let's throw the dice to see who will go first. Red is Levi, blue is Historia. That was a weak draw and we get double fives. Let's do this again. We got a 3 and a 2, so the Historia will actually go first. So I don't really know all the rules anymore, but I'm pretty sure that the first person is not allowed to draw, but I could be wrong too. And you also need to have like a lot of zero cost characters on your hand, so you can fill your energy line a little bit easier. So I would say we just start by playing one of these zero cost characters here. It's just a vanilla Historia Reiss, which we need to use to raid her. And another thing that I want to say too is that she goes along with the Ymir here, and there's only like one really good raid Ymir card that allows to swing like twice if you have 6 or more event cards in your trash. Yep. Okay, let's pass the turn. For all of you who are like kind of new to this channel, I'm basically playing against myself to just showcase these decks in the tabletop simulator. And it's just like to get like some core understanding about each deck, how it plays, and if you want to build it or not. So we gain 2 action points and we draw a card, I'm pretty sure. But again, I could be wrong. And we play a zero cost, just a vanilla Levi card here, which we can raid later. And let's play one of the Eld Jinn characters. Also tapped onto the energy line, and he has a good ability because he says during my turn, if I paid an action point during my attack phase, this character will gain 2000 battle points. And again, this Levi wants to pay action points in the attack phase. Okay, let's untap and draw and pass turn. I forgot to untap here at the end. We will get a second action point and draw a card. This is the action point restate, the final trigger, which we cannot really use yet. However, I think I'm gonna go ahead and play another Historia. I wanna keep her in the energy line because I wanna activate this event here, which allows me to draw a card. Again, you can also pay 1 action point at the beginning of your turn and draw an additional card. But this deck wants to play a lot of event cards and wants to have a lot of event cards in the trash, so it's better to draw with the event cards. Let's play 1 memory, and it says draw a card and place 1 card from your hand in the sideline, and we can choose 1 action point and switch it back to active. Just gonna draw it like this. We get a zero cost Mikasa, which allows us to draw another character. And I think I'm actually gonna put the double cost Mikasa into the sideline here, because she's kinda expensive. And because of the memory card, we can put one of our action points back to active, which will be used to play this zero cost Mikasa, and she just does the same thing, draw a card and place 1 card from my hand into the sideline. Let's draw and we get another final trigger. That's not good. I'm pretty sure that I want to trash one of these. Actually, let's trash the special trigger here. Now we have 2 event cards in our trash. We can untap and pass the turn. Alright, the Levi will stay at 2 action points. We can draw a card. We also have the ability to put some pressure here. So I'm also gonna play the memory card. Again, this is basically a free card if you have 2 energy. We will not move anyone to the front line. I will draw the special trigger. And I think I can safely trash the 0-cost Levi, because the other characters are slightly better. And the action point will get back active again. So now let's get up to 3 energy. We're gonna play this Levi into the energy line. We're gonna use one of the final trigger here to set 2 of our action points back to active. Then we can play this Petra Roll. She is a necessary card in this deck because when played at the start of the attack phase, choose up to 1 action point and switch it back to active. So we can use the Levi abilities. Now we have 5 energy in total, which means we could potentially raid with one of these characters. Oh, he is not a raid character, so it would be better to probably play him. Although this guy can give some character minus 2000 battle points until the end of the turn. So I think I will just develop my board a little bit and place him on the front line. If he's on the front line and this character is active at the beginning of my battle phase, I can switch one of my action points back to active. And when attacking, I may pay 1 action points and can give another character plus 1000 battle points until the end of the turn, and he cannot be chosen by my opponent's triggered abilities, which is pretty good. Let's untap here and end our turn. Now we get our first 3 action point turn, because the Historia started. Since we have 2 of the final triggers in our hand, I'm gonna use 1 action point to do the action point draw. I will also not move anyone to the front line because I wanna play this Historia here. She can restate one of our action points if I have used an event card this turn. And if I have an Ymir on the field, she will gain 500 battle points. And for our last action point, we don't need to use the final trigger because we don't need to develop our board a little bit more. We're just gonna raid the 0-cost Historia and move her to the front line. We have 2 event cards in our trash, so she can gain the ability when attacking, choose up to 104 Cadet Corp affinity card on my field, and it will gain 1000 battle points until the end of the turn. Which means I'm gonna swing. Is it another? Yeah, it's another, so I cannot buff herself. I'm gonna start by swinging 4k. Again, this guy has 4k, which means that if I would block with him, this character would die. So I will just take the life card. And it is a special trigger, which is very unfortunate because this Historia will go into the trash immediately. Let's untap here and end our turn. I will also gain an action point here, and I think this is gonna be a really fast match for the Levi. Again, we have a lot of we don't have a lot of possibilities here, so I'm gonna use an action point draw. We'll get another Levi 1-cost character, which means that I will move this guy to the front line. So we can draw a card, then play him back into the energy line, so we are back at 5 energy, which means that I can actually raid this time. Let's choose the 0-cost character, move him to the front line. Since we got the special trigger here, we don't need to use his ability, but I just want to get like a lot of swings in. So let's enter the battle phase. He will trigger, which means we can, at the start of your attack phase, if this character is active, I can choose 1 action point and set it back to active. She has a When Blade ability, so I will only get 1 action point, which means I need to choose one of these Levi effects to activate. I cannot activate all of them. I could protect one of my Levi's with this ability, or I could just draw a card with him, which means that I'm probably gonna use his ability to pay the action point and give him plus 500 and draw a card. However, I still wanna attack with one of these characters first, and I'm gonna attack with him because he's the most valuable, I think. So my opponent needs to choose if they have a special trigger, and I just realized there are no life cards, but that shouldn't be a problem. Let's just do this quickly. And we're gonna hit for 1 damage, and we get a collar trigger. And we can bounce a character with 3000 or 500 or less battle points to the hand, which will be this Levi, because he's only at 2500, which is a really good play, so I cannot really draw a card. Next, I'm gonna swing with this Levi, and here when attacking I can pay an action point and return 1 2000 or less battle points character on my opponent's front line to the hand. Since the front line is empty, I cannot really choose anyone here, so we're gonna hit for another damage. And it's another trigger. Okay, so far so good. We lost one of our Levi's, but that should be fine. Let's untap here and end our turn. Alrighty, let's draw our card here. Again, we can probably do an action point draw because we have 2 of these cards on our hand. And we need to get like some more event cards in our sideline. We're currently still sitting at only 2 event cards. Yep. So that's not too great. And I think I'm gonna add some more into this. So we're gonna go up to 3 event cards, restate our action points. We only have 3 energy, so we need to play this Ymir first. She just gains 1000 battle points if I have a Historia on the field, which I do have. But she's the only character that you can use as a raid material for this character, which is kinda annoying, but yeah. Next up we can actually do like a pretty nice play here. We're gonna bring our Historia out again. We raid the 0 cost character, move her to the front line. Again, we have 3 cards, 3 event cards in our trash, so she will only gain the first ability. However, we can play another Historia Reiss into the energy line, and this time we can use her when blade ability. I have used an event card this turn, so I can choose one of my action points and set it back to active. Which then means that we can immediately raid with this Ymir and also move her to the front line. Again, if I can draw a card and place 1 card from my hand in the sideline, and if I have 6 or more event cards in my sideline, I can set her back to active. Let's go on to the battle phase. We're gonna swing with her first, giving this Ymir plus 1000. Again, I don't really wanna block with any of the Levi's because it's better to keep these characters here. And we get a color trigger, but this color trigger doesn't do anything because both of these characters have 4000. I still don't really know why they do it like 3500 less battle points, because most characters that you have on the front line will have 4000 or more battle points. Alright, next we're gonna swing with this Ymir. I can draw a card and then place 1 card from my hand into the sideline. Let's draw a card. We got a special trigger, and I actually think that we don't need the final trigger anymore because we have so little hand size, and the special trigger is way better. Which makes our sideline go up to 4. I guess I should have swung with the Ymir first, but I just wanted to get her up to 5000 battle points, and we couldn't have activated her second ability anyways. So yeah, let's hit again. We will not block with the Levi's because they are very important, and we get a draw trigger. That's pretty good. Right, good turn. Let's untap here. She won't get the 1000 battle points anymore. And pass the turn. I feel like this game got like a lot faster now. It's way easier to deal like damage, and the effects are getting kind of crazy too. We got the Aaron Smith here, the leader of the Attack on Titans. 104 Cadet. What's the name of this? This is all Levi squad, okay. I think we can do some damage here, which means I will not... You know what, let's move him to the front line. Yes, because we only need 4 energy. He will be blocked, but I can still draw a card with him. Let's use our first action point to play this site here, the former headquarters of the Scout Regiment. It kind of looks like the Obelisk Blue school, or no, the dormitory from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I can use the activate main ability, switch to resting, reveal the top card of your deck. If the reveal card is the blue character with 3 or less required energy, add it to the hand. If I do not add it to my hand, place it on the top of the deck. This card is actually also good in the Historia deck. Next up, I can actually use this Levi Barrage here, because we already destroyed one of the Historias. I think I want to destroy the second one too. Again, she's the core of this deck, and we have Levi on the field, which means we can KO a 5k. And for our last action point, since we only have 4 energy, we cannot really raid with this Levi. I'm gonna put him on the energy line, so we have 5 energy and can potentially raid with him next turn. Let's enter the attack phase. We will get 1 action point back because of his ability. He's on the front line, he's active, so we can use one of these abilities. And again, I kind of want to use him because he's the most useful one. Now, am I scared of another color trigger here, or should I attack with him first? I think he gets blocked anyway, so I think safely attack with him first. He will gain 500 battle points until the end of the turn. I will pay the action point and then I can draw a card. Yep. And he will be blocked by this Ymir because she's 4000 and he's a 3000 power character, so that's like an easy choice. Next up, we're gonna swing with this Levi. Again, his when attacking ability doesn't really matter. I'm gonna connect and we get an active trigger, which is really good because now I can block this Levi's attack safely, since the Ymir will have 7000 battle points. Right, that means I'm gonna untap here, end my turn, and pass it over to the Historia. I already thought that the Levi deck might be like a little bit stronger than the Victoria, but the Historia, sorry, I keep saying Victoria. But yeah, it's still like a really nice deck. I think the Attack on Titan set in general is like super balanced. So we get a draw trigger, but since we only have 2 cards that we can play and this will set one of our action points back to active, I'm gonna do an action point draw. And we get another 0 cost Mikasa. I think I'm gonna activate the memory first, draw a card, and then sideline one. I think I'm gonna sideline this girl. I'm kinda rusty with this, and this brings our total event costs up to 5. So we only need one more to get all the Historia Reiss abilities and the Ymir abilities. But I cannot... No, wait. I activated the memory, so I can set one of my action points back to active. I forgot to do that. Which then allows us to... Well, it's actually only a 3 energy card. Never mind. I'm gonna activate the special trigger. I have an Historia on the field, which means I can add 1000 to the battle range of the character for each event card in my sideline. And I have now 6 event cards in my... 5 event cards in my sideline. Before I got 6. Which means I can KO a 5k. No, I can KO a 7k character actually. And I'm pretty sure that I wanna KO this Levi because he keeps setting the action points back to active with his if on the frontline ability. Then our last action point will be used to blade this Ymir onto the energy line. It's just gonna be for the next turn. I could have potentially moved one of them up. So I can get another attack, but it would be blocked by the Levi's anyway, so it doesn't really matter. However, now I have 6 event cards in my trash, which means I can double attack with this Ymir. So we're gonna go to the battle phase, we're gonna swing 4k, my opponent is at 4 life, which means I can safely take another one, and we get a raid trigger, which we can't activate because we only have 5 energy generation. Slightly annoying. Then she will be set to active, and it's a once per turn ability, so I can still draw a card and place one card from my hand in the sideline, which is like slightly unfortunate. So this Historia will unfortunately be in the graveyard, in the sideline, and that means we already put 3 Historias there, so I only have 1 left that I can actually use in this tournament. But yeah, we can swing again. I kinda wanna stay at 3 life, which means I'm gonna block with this Levi. Let's untap and end our turn. Seems like the Historia cleared the board a little bit, to my surprise. However, she has 0 hand cards. And I can get some back. Ooh, that is pretty good actually. That's a pretty good draw. I think we can deal some heavy damage here. So first off, I'm gonna do an action point draw to see who we get. Then next, I will activate the hold on. Do I move someone to the front line? Yeah, I have to. I'm gonna move... I'm gonna move this Levi to the front line. Oh, no, he will be raided anyways. So I'm gonna move this Elgin to the front line. Then next I'm gonna activate this event card. I can set 2 of my action points back to active. I can also activate this ability, active main. I can reveal the top card. If it's a blue character with 3 or less energy, I can add it to my hand. Sorry, I need to turn this right. So let's reveal it. Nope, it's a raid Levi, so he will stay on top. And I know what I'm gonna draw next turn. And now we can have a big play. We're gonna play the Rull, Petra Rull first, and her Windblade ability activates. And at the start of this turn, I can choose one of my action points and switch it back to active, which is pretty good because my opponent just KO'd the 4K Levi. Then we're gonna have a super fun activity because we're gonna raid this Levi, move him to the front line, and he is basically the end boss of this deck. He can attack 3 times in total because he has double attack, and when he attacks for the 3rd time, he will also gain snipe. When Blade ability activates too, he gains 1000 battle points. I think with our last action point, I don't really need to use his when attacking ability. I will just play another Erwin onto the energy line. Yep, that's fine. So, let's move on to the battle phase. We will get 1 action point back active because we played this character. She's rested, by the way, this turn. And we're gonna start by attacking with the Levi, and I think this might be the last turn, depending on the special trigger. And he has also double attack, which means that this character is gonna die no matter what. So we're gonna swing with him first. Again, this is the first attack. You can switch him back to active, and we don't wanna block this yet, I think. Get a draw trigger, because we kinda wanna hope for an active trigger or something like this. Then we're gonna swing for the next time, but this time we're gonna pay the action point to set him back to active, which means that this character will get 2000 battle points. And the next time we attack, this Levi will have the snipe ability. So the Ymir gonna die no matter what on the next swing. And we have 3 life left and 3 more attacks. And I didn't do the damage yet, right here. This is not a trigger. Then again, we're gonna snipe here. If the Ymir blocks or not, it doesn't really matter because the outcome is the same. So we're gonna just snipe the blocker away, and we have 2 more hits that can deal some damage. And if that's not a final trigger or special trigger, then we probably win the game here. And we get a raid trigger, which is also pretty good. That's why we attack with this guy first, because he's only at 3500. We're gonna raid immediately, so we can have like another blocker for this Levi attack, because otherwise we would lose the game. So last swing with this Levi, again we have to block with this Ymir, otherwise we would lose. And the Historia managed to survive another round. Let's untap here and end the turn. So I'm pretty sure that this is gonna be the last turn. We were a little bit lucky with the Ymir raid trigger here. And again, we're gonna need to use an action point draw because we don't have enough cards in our hand. The Historia would be kinda nice to have, but yeah, it's unlucky, and we also don't have enough energy to raid with this Ymir, which means the only thing that we can do is just sideline a character or move everyone to the front line. I think in this situation you have to move everyone to the front line, because even if you do like the special trigger, it doesn't really do anything for us here. Could we do some damage here? She is at... No, we don't have an Ymir, so these will be blocked. 1 attack will get through. So let's just do it like this. Historia block, Historia block. And Mikasa, I think I can take a damage here. We get a draw trigger. Let's untap here and end the turn, and then next turn we most likely will lose. Alright, let's draw here. We can untap. I don't think we need to rest them to block the attack, but I'm not sure on this. And we get another Petra roll, which is honestly insane. However, we don't have Levi to raid for this character, and for him either. So I think I'm gonna do an action point draw here. This is a Mikasa, which is kinda annoying, so I'm gonna activate this ability. I'm gonna reveal the top card, and it's a Levi. It's a blue character with 3 or less mana, which means I can add it to the hand. And I didn't move anyone to the front line, I just realized, but it doesn't really matter. So I will remove the Erwin to play the Levi with this action point. And then, because it's so beautiful, we're gonna raid this Levi with another 6 cost. And now we're gonna have 2 characters with double attack, another 4k attack, and this guy will just be 1500 because we we're not able to pay 1 action point in our attack phase this turn. So let's start swinging. By the way, this guy has plus 1000 battle points. It doesn't really matter with who we start first. We're gonna attack here. He has double attack, which means one of the Historia needs to die. We're gonna swing again. The Historia needs to die. And we're gonna swing with him double attack. The Mikasa dies. He will be set back to active. Swing again. And it's a draw trigger. Ta-da! Which means the Levi wins the game. It was a really fast game, to be honest, but this deck is also pretty strong. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. The Historia was a little bit weak this turn, but it seems like Union Arena is getting like more fast paced, so I hope you get like at least a little bit of a look how the decks work. And the Levi also is like a really strong deck in my opinion. Probably one of the top decks that you can build together with the green Armored Titan, Reiner and Berthold, I think, and the red Aaron deck, which is also pretty strong. Okay guys, I will see you in the next video.